Mason's a motivational speaker, and he's author of 9 books. It's Okay to Leave the Plantation with his first, and his newest is The Democrat Party Hates America.
John.
Those books are available in the lobby, as I told you a little while ago. And please welcome, all the way from Florida, he flew in yesterday to speak to you today, all the way from Florida, Mason Weaver.
To my friend, Congressman Darrell, I said, this is only a list. I'm just listing it. I want to thank you guys for inviting me. I did leave Florida to come out here. Do I look pretty good today? You can tell one thing by how I'm dressed. I have females in my life. I have 2 granddaughters that I'm raising, and I am their kin doll. I have no clue how to dress myself. I want to thank you guys very much because I love California. I love Southern California. When you go back there to buy my books, you're going to see a young lady named Tracy. Tracy Denby has been a loyal supporter of mine. Every time I speak anywhere near Southern California, she stops what she's doing and she comes out and helps me sell books. And Tracy is with a company called EXP. And EXP is a real estate company. She is a realtor, and this is Saturday. This is why I just go back and say hello to you. If anybody got anything to do real estate, every time I got a problem or a question in California, I call her up because she's very knowledgeable. And until I said hello. I'm supposed to be talking about critical race theory. This is a simple, no, it's a simple. This is going to be a very short speech. Critical race theory. Does anybody here want to know how to end racism in America? You ban the Democrat Party. The biggest hate group in America. The longest standing hate group, full of hatred for everything that we stand for as a nation. They hate, that's why I wrote the book, they hate everything you love. But the problem is that when they come up with these foolish concepts, they come up with these crazy ideas, these crazy notions, and we spend time arguing with them, trying to show them how they're wrong. We spend time trying to tell them the flaws in the ideas. It never works, folks, because they know they're wrong. They are wrong on purpose. They want the results of what they're doing. The Democratic Party should apologize for slavery. Amen. All you guilty white people that have made feel guilty of the slave trade, in the back of my books I have certificates of forgiveness to officially forgive you. That's the heart. Here comes the certificate. You can frame it, put it at home. You've been officially forgiven. No more white guilt because the white guilt is killing us. Because you cannot get on the battlefield with me trying to help me. I don't need your help. I need to stand next to me to face the real enemy. Do you know who you are? Are these Republicans? Any Republicans here? Do you know who you are? Yes. The party of tired people. You got tired. You heard the chairman talk about the Republican Party and how you were bound to end slavery. You got tired of compromising with Democrats. You got tired of the Kansas-Nebraska Act, the Missouri Compromise. You got tired of one free state and one slave state coming to the Union. You got tired. And you stood up in front of the American people. You said, as a fledgling first-term party, you said, if you're tired of America and elect us, you're going to find us ending this mess called slavery. We're going to abolish the Democratic Party slave system, and we're going to bring clarity back to you. And America said, about doggone time, here's our vote, and gave you total control of the Union. Yes. You got tired. Are you tired yet? Yes. Yes. Are you tired again in California? Okay. Yes. We got enough of refining gasoline here and paying $5 a gallon? Yes. That makes sense to you? I come back, I've been gone 10 years. What happened to my city? Has anybody gotten tired yet? They will not stop until we get enough, folks. They need to apologize for slavery, inventing the KKK. Need to apologize. You guys took this nation. I'm going to tell you why I love the Republicans so much. You guys won the majority of the houses, the Senate seats, you won the presidency, but you also won the majority of state governorships. You won the majority of state houses. Slavery was over when we elected Abraham Lincoln. And that's why the South left. That's why they left the Union, because the Congress was going to vote slavery out. Republicans love this country so much. You love humanity so much. Imagine this now. A civil war, they call it. It was not a civil war. You went to war to fight your brothers to free strangers. You understand that? Think about that when you're sitting in your chair. You went to war to fight your brothers to free strangers. You have never had a civil war like this in the history of mankind, where brothers fought each other to free. You fought your brothers. Folks, the Republican Party was not fighting a civil war. You were a crusade. You went into battle singing glory, glory, hallelujah. His truth is marching on. You went up and did God's work in spite of what everybody was calling you. You went up and faced Goliath like nobody else would. You, the Republican Party, freed this nation, and God blessed you by raising this country up to be the greatest country in the history of mankind, because we dared to go to war to free people. And now we're sitting here now trying to avoid hurting Democrats' feelings. They call us mean. They call us hateful. I'm a black Christian supporting Trump supporter. Can you imagine what they call me? Every time I go and pay for something, I got this doggone wallet. Trump train. I was privileged when the Trump campaign asked me to help them form the Black Voices for Trump Board of Directors. And I said to them, the reason Trump is president is because Trump is bold. If you're bold, we're going to win this. If you're bold enough to stand up, we're going to win this, folks. But you got to not try to hurt their doggone feelings. Your job is to hurt their doggone feelings. We no longer have time for hurt feelings. It's time for us to let them take care of their own doggone feelings and get out of our way. They're standing in front of you now. No, the Democrats, all they want is government programs. You know why they want government programs? Because they manage government programs. They manage misery. They manage, when you go home at night, you turn that little black box on your wall on, they call their product programming. They tell you what to fear, what to like, to don't like, and they call that little black box television for a reason. It's a conspiracy of your mind, folks. No program has ever made you a conservative. You notice that? No government program ever made you more conservative. But government programs make you more liberal. Public schools as opposed to private schools. There is no program that works. There is no successful government program, social program. Now we got a pretty bad military though. Their program works. We can break things. The real problem is not race, folks. The real problem is Democrats. So let's stop this. Let's stop this. To try to rationalize with Democrats because they got a title doesn't mean anything. To allow Democrats to be in charge of your schools when you know they're training your kids against your own moral principles, when you know they're training your kids to be confused on their gender. That is child abuse. So why on earth would you see somebody stand in front of you saying, we are child molesters, but we're going to babysit your kids because we know good bedtime stories? That's the rationale. When are we going to stand up as parents and tell the government we do not want a co-parent? We don't want you to have an opinion about my child. An opinion. I'm raising my grandkids. I'm homeschooling them because I love them. in the 60s, and I demonstrated in the 60s. And I noticed I'm marching, I'm demonstrating, and I'm marching, and I'm protesting, and I'm marching, and I'm shouting, and I'm boycotting, I'm noticing, I'm looking around, see, folks, you can't be a liberal and think. Try one day. You cannot be a liberal and you can only be a liberal if you feel. But the minute you start thinking, it's done. It's done. So I'm into the motion, you know, and it finally dawned on me. Every protest, every march, every demonstration, every sit-in, every single one was against Democrats. And I started thinking, every single one. You had George Wallace standing in front of the schoolhouse door. You had the Famous Bridge when they marched across and beat down John Lewis into the dust. And he got up and dusted off and joined the Democrats. You have every protest march, everything Dr. King went against was against Democrats. Every one of them. And then you have, when they got to the social stuff, every ghetto in America, every intercity ghetto in this country is controlled by Democrats. True. Racism, every inner-city school, every gay neighborhood. Chicago has no gun stores. So why are we see so many killings? They say, because they always deflect, they say, well, the guns are coming in from Indiana. Yes, it's Indiana. So if the guns are coming in, if you got to think, if the guns are coming into Indiana, why aren't there more gun violence in Indiana than Chicago? The reason why is that Republicans don't kill themselves. I'm just being honest, folks. I'm not loved, but I'm not corrected. Nobody corrects me. No one says, Mason, you're wrong. See, I was a Berkeley radical. I went into the Navy, came back from Vietnam, and a white boy tried to kill me. August 11, 1971, right down there in 32nd Street Naval Station. I went to Balboa Hospital. They gave me a week to live. That was a long week. I was a high school dropout because they wouldn't let me graduate a year early because I was the only black basketball player in the school, so, you know, I coached basketball. I wanted me to come back to play basketball, and I wanted to go to college. So they wouldn't let me, so I joined the Navy. I'm a high school dropout, I'm black, I'm poor, and now I'm disabled. And I didn't say, oh, poor me. I didn't say, oh, what am I going to do? I just went as a grown man and got myself an education, learned how money was made. I made money instead of work. So that's what I did. But at Berkeley, before I went to Berkeley, I went to a little small college in Oakland called Merritt College. And I was taught sociology by a gentleman named Melvin Newton. Yeah, you may not know him, but his younger brother was called Huey Newton. And they discovered I had this thing called a voice. I had this voice. And I could speak and people would believe what I said. So I started lying for them, because it was all a lie. I knew it was a lie. And we started talking about how the white man got us down, how terrible white people are. I'm studying Swahili, and I'm studying black history, I'm studying all the problems. I'm waiting for the butt. I'm waiting for the butt. I'm thinking, waiting for the butt. And finally, it dawned on me that I was fighting to bring white folks on the plantation, not freeing black folks from the plantation. I was embarrassed when I realized, I'm saying, okay, now, my race has nothing to do with my ability to make money, except to those Democrats teaching me. It became obvious to me that my race was only a problem for them. It wasn't a problem for me. And my Republican friends and colleagues in my classroom seemed to have no question about my race, but Democrats kept saying, as a black man, as a black man, Afro-Americans, and I said, well, Jake, how long have you been black? How bad it is being black in America. How bad it is being black in America. Folks, I'm thinking at Berkeley. You cannot think. I'm sitting at Berkeley. You understand? The University of California at Berkeley. I'm paying every doggone tuition myself. I didn't get no scholarship. I'm sitting in one of the best schools in America. How'd I get here? Then I'm black? How'd I get here? How y'all get? No, you have to think that you are poor. You got to think that you're being wrong. You got to think someone owed you something. But I'm sitting there looking and said, how do we even know the name Jesse Jackson? White folks don't want us to know that name. How did Charlie Brown become the country western singer of the decade of the black man of Mississippi? How did Jack Johnson knock out white men in Alabama and marry a white woman and still become the first black heavyweight champion? Who's gonna stop me? Nobody. And my liberal friends got angry with me because I stood up and said, I'm going to be a successful person. Well, Mason, they won't let you do that. Then I will conquer them too. I was born in Homer G. Phillips Hospital in 1950, the day after Valentine's Day, 1950. And my mother, before I was born, only could go to a wet nurse because black people could not go to the hospital in St. Louis to give birth to their kids. And there's a doctor there named Homer G. Phillips, a black doctor, and he didn't lead a protest march. He didn't demonstrate, he didn't march, he didn't burn down the city because it wasn't, right? He did something novel. He built a black hospital. Find a need and fill the need. My mother was able to go to that hospital and give birth to me, and I grew up. So I started thinking, folks, every city that we had riots in for cops shooting black men, everyone was in a Democrat neighborhood. Everyone. If you have poverty among black people under Donald Trump, the reason they're in trouble, because under President Donald Trump, black folks went to work. So now, all of a sudden, you have black people, 72% of black people now live middle class. That's the problem. Because they're the party of slavery and poverty and misery, and you got black folks now going to work on the freeway with paying $5 a gallon for gasoline. What's up with this? Wait a minute. You got black folks now got a 401k program. You got black people trying to put their kids in college. All of a sudden, they're leaving the hood and buying a home. And the house payments and the mortgage payments and the taxes in California. And they're saying, what is wrong with the state? They're thinking you can't think and stay liberal. So all of a sudden, Donald Trump is causing a problem, so they have to find some new black folks called illegals to come over and they vote their way. Did I say that out loud? Okay. They own every ghetto in America. You cannot find one. And Republicans don't like poor people. We make it middle class. They don't like poor people. Someone asked me once, because they knew I was Republican, Mason, what have the Republicans done for black people? Anybody ever heard that question before? What have Republicans done for black people? My answer is, nothing. We never own any. Folks, stop dancing with liberals. Stop following their lead. Stop trying to analyze them and tell them the right things. You will never tell a liberal anything and they say, oh, you're right, I got it now. I've been it all wrong. You will never see that. They will never say, oh, I understand. If one of you beautiful women out here, let me take you in my arms to dance, I'm in charge of where we end up on the dance floor. And I guarantee you, we will end up at my table. If you dance with liberals, you will end up at their table. I think Republicans, you radical Republicans, you tend to kick over tables. So it's time. So my critical race theory, why would you let people who form the KKK have a race theory? Why would you have the people who tore the nation apart to keep their slaves have a race theory you're going to analyze? How can you have The people who have given you every ghetto in America have a race theory. Folks, their kids that they teach can't spell theory. They have a racial theory. So I think that Republicans should get back to being radical, back to being tired. This is your nation. How can you stand still when they're taking down the culture that built this nation? How can you stand still? Can they call you a name? A name. Folks, it's a name. No one cares what they call you. Nobody cares what you're doing. So I'm just asking you. They are against everything you are for. There's not one proposal from Democrats. They hate babies. They hate prosperity. They hate individual freedom. They hate God. They hate everything you love. Because they stood in your face. They stood in front of the American people and said, your church is not essential. They said your church is not essential, but the liquor store is. The pot dispensary is. They looked you in the face and said, if you go to church and you only have 50 people there, you can't sing praises, you can't hug each other. Now, there's only two businesses mentioned in the Constitution: the press and the church. So can you imagine them going to the LA Times and tell them that they're not essential and they can only have 50 reporters in the newsroom at one time? Can you imagine going to the New York Times and saying, we will tell you we can open up? No, the church stood there and said, okay, let me know we can do this better now. Let me know. Are you kidding me? Republicans, when are you going to get enough? When are you going to get tired like your founding fathers? Get tired and go back on another crusade? Because America will fill this place up. The reason we're all here, standing room only here, because you got a bold man with Darrell Isaacs coming. Yeah. You got a bold man with Larry Elder coming. You got someone. We're tired. We're tired. All over the state, people are standing up tired. They're weary. I'm not afraid of a virus or the flu. Folks, I'm not. Wear a mask because I live in Florida where you can carry a gun. I do. And it's kind of hazardous for a black man to walk into a liquor store with a mask on and a gun. So I'm going to get the mask to keep the gun. The common cold tries to kill you. Every time you catch a cold, it's trying to kill you. Why doesn't it kill you? There's no cure. There's no cure for the common cold. I guess there's no cure for the uncommon cold either, but there's no cure. The Black Plague, there's no cure for the Black Plague. But why isn't it killing us anymore? Because your body, in your body, God put the cure. It's there. I got my vaccine at birth. I'm fully vaccinated now. I'm fully vaccinated. The Democratic Party did not believe black people were human. They thought we were pets. They thought we were property. Democratic Party believed in breeding and branding and lynching. Democratic Party owns, like I said, every ghetto in America. The Jim Crow laws, the KKK laws, segregation laws, voting right laws, all came. Everything in the South was against Democrats. Every problem we have. The party was founded on 9 platforms. 6 said, we're going to end slavery. This is who you are, Republicans. Yep. We win when we show up. Yeah. Every time we show up, we win. So how can we allow a party of slavery, a party of misery, a party of death, a party of destruction? How can we allow them to address us in any manner? To address us. We should ban the Democratic Party to save America. We should ban them. I'm tired of arguing and debating them. I don't want to talk anymore to them. I want to end their power by banning them. What should we do with Joe Biden? Jail? Hospital? Yeah. I mean, I'm a Vietnam veteran. I'm a Vietnam veteran. Let me tell you something. You do not dare send the military anywhere to break even. We're going to fight to break even. We don't build bridges. We tear down bridges. We don't build schools. We don't build highways. We're not a construction corps. Peace comes when the enemy stops fighting. Peace comes. You mean to tell me that the military, the United States military, could not find an army in the desert? In the desert? I mean, you mean to tell me that we have the capacity made right here in La Jolla, those drones, General Atomics. We can fly around the world and pinpoint what window to go into with a missile, but we cannot find. Folks, the reason Afghanistan was conquered in a few weeks because we were training the Taliban. That's the reason. That's why they were killing our guys, training them. We gave them the equipment, we gave them the training, and we gave them control of the country. It wasn't a fight and they battled their way into Kabul. Those troops that we trained were the Taliban. Yep. And we came up and we were looking at them and said, oh, wait, we didn't know that. You mean the most intelligent gathering apparatus in the world could not tell that? Think, folks. So I'm looking at Democrats and I'm saying, wait a minute. I have granddaughters now. They're 16, 18 years old. They like these creatures called boys now. These creatures called boys, and I got gray hair. Y'all pray for me. How can I stand by as they go into adulthood, as they go into womanhood, as I'm showing them how to take care of their money, how to invest, how to find a good husband, because they ain't gonna be sitting back home to me when they get out of here. If you want her, go keep her, okay? How can I watch and look at them and even contemplate allowing the people that have perpetrated all the misery of their ancestry on them and consider sitting down and discussing with them? I am telling you now, folks, you cannot think of one thing positive that came out of the Democrat Party, except me. I flew here, and I'm flying back tomorrow morning. I'm good off the plane, going to another meeting. I'm traveling the country. I am trying to just be clear on what's happening in this country. Let's stop trying to compromise with our enemies. When you read the paper and watch TV, think of yourself as a GI in World War II, stuck in the Philippines in an island someplace, and you get all your news from Tokyo Rose. You get all information about the victory, about the war from Tokyo Rose. If you listen to the press, you are depressed. Oh my God. You let them describe you. You let them tell you who you are. They call you a racist. You spend 15 minutes to negotiate if you're a racist or not. You actually apologize. No, don't play that. You're talking to an idiot. Don't play that. You can never convince them because they know the truth. They know the truth, and they deny the truth knowing it's true. That means they're foolish. So if you argue and debate with a fool, and a stranger walks by, they want me to tell who the fool is. Do not dare enter a debate on race with racists. Don't you dare allow them to tell you they got a theory about how to end racism. Folks, in the civil rights movement, understand this now, the civil rights battle that I fought in wasn't a battle to make you like me. It wasn't about to make white folks like black folks. You can call me the N-word, like you know what that means. You can call me anything, that's personal. And you and I will handle that personally. And one of us will have a felony. But as person, I don't want the government telling you can't tell me that. Because they tell you, you can't say that, tell me what I can't say. I don't care if you can put up a sign that says blacks only, whites only. If that place, if this place had a sign that said no blacks allowed, nobody would be here. They will go out of business because America's not like that anymore. We didn't fight to make the personal stuff change, folks. I am not handicapped. I'm not handicapped. You don't have to help me. So you got to be in your back to pull me up? No, just get out of my way. I can get it myself. I really can. I really can. They want you to think that you're some kind of guilt because you're white. That's allowing you to have low self-esteem. How dare you allow the government to punish you for something your great-grandfather did? How can they do that to you? You still say, okay, you kidding me? What made us great, folks, was competition. So let's get on the battlefield and the working field. Beat me someday. I'll see you tomorrow. When I played basketball in that little white town, there's a dude named Bill Bradley. He played in Crystal City. He didn't say, oh, I'm a white guy, I can't play basketball. Folks, don't let them tell you. Don't let them tell you to diminish yourself. Don't let them tell you you got to step back so a black person can step forward. That's racist. They are racist people. Everything they do is telling you to be different from somebody else. They divide you by your differences. Young people, old people, rich people, poor people, women and men, gays and straights. They divide you by your differences. Republicans unite on our commonality. When I'm at Berkeley, I'm protesting, demonstrating, and I'm seeing my grip of reality kind of slip away. Because I'm seeing things, and I'm noticing things, and I begin to think and figure things out. And then one day, I got embarrassed. I was embarrassed. Because I'm saying that black folks can't do this. Black folks can't do this. I'm a disabled veteran. I could not sit in school all day. I could not sit in class all day. Every day I had to decide if I was going to go to class high on drugs or go to class in pain all day. And I go to school Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays because of the pain or the drugs. And I go home at night and prop myself up in the bed, in my couch and watch TV till it went off the air at midnight. Remember those days, folks? And couldn't sleep in my bed, so I sat on that couch and I read books. I read the class books that I'm supposed to be in. And I went to school. I started school in the winter of 1973, disabled. And I graduated Berkeley with 4 degrees in 1975. Less than 4 years. Because I had a thing called a brain, and I started thinking. And that thinking freed me. That thinking freed me. I had to understand, okay, if white people are prejudiced, what does that do to me? Nothing. Okay, if white people hate me, what does that do to me? Nothing. If white people are going to come and burn a cross on my yard, I hope they got insurance. That'll not be pretty. The fact is, my granddaughter and I went to get gasoline one day, and I gave her some money to go get some candy at the store. She came back, and I'm driving on the freeway, and she gave me the change, and I was short. I said, baby, you got the change. They took money from you. She said, Grandpa, did they do that because I was black? I said, no, ma'am, they did that because you didn't count your money. Folks, there is no race problem in America. There is a Democratic Party in America. My race theory is to ban the Democratic Party. God bless you guys. Of pure common sense. And his books are full of common sense too, by the way, and they're out there in the lobby. They're out there in the lobby. Thank you, Mason Weaver, all the way from Florida, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay, our next speaker